Good morning, guys. Today we are jumping right into it, okay? Remember yesterday we added and subtracted decimals. So you remember the steps on that? Step one, we pretty much lined up all of our decimal place values. So make sure everybody had a buddy, right? And then we went ahead and either added or subtracted, okay? And also don't forget to bring that decimal down. Today we are going to go ahead and go into the next step of our operation. So we did adding, subtracting. The next one would be to multiply. Okay, and I separated multiply and dividing because they both have different rules. Okay, so we're going to be on page 6 today, and we are going to multiply decimals. Okay, just like that, multiply decimals. Okay, there you go. So let's go to our page 6 right here. Okay. And if you remember, page 6 is up here, and our objective goes on top. Today we are going to learn how to multiply decimals. Okay? Very good. We'll learn how to multiply decimals. And there's really only 2 steps to multiplication. Now, one of the main issues that I've seen students have with multiplication is their multiplication facts, okay? So if you're having trouble with your multiplication facts, make yourself some little flashcards on notes, little note cards or Post-its or something, just to, drill yourself daily. Today I'm gonna do the 2s, tomorrow I'll do the 3s and the 4s. That way it'll be faster for you, okay? You'll get through the problems faster because you'll have them right there. I can remember back when I was in elementary, a long time ago, that's the first thing we would do in our math class. We would sit down and do a 40 question multiplication drill, just right there. And you had like 5 minutes to do it, and hopefully your goal was to get to the end. So, just drill yourself on that, okay? It'll make your life a lot easier, I promise, okay? Now, on to multiplication, okay? Multiplication is just repeated addition. Okay, you're adding the same number over and over and over again, a set amount of times, okay? So when you say the word times or each or anything like that, you're gonna be multiplying, okay? So let's get into the steps. Like I said, there's only 2 steps. So step 1, we're gonna multiply our factors. Remember, factors are the 2 numbers you're multiplying. So we're gonna multiply the factors as if they're whole numbers. So we're gonna pretend that the decimals aren't even there. Okay, I don't want to deal with the decimals to the end. Okay, so the first step, multiply as if the factors are whole numbers. Okay, multiply as if the factors are whole numbers. Okay, that's step 1. And always double check your multiplication, okay? All right. Now, once you do that, once you've multiplied your 2 factors, you get what we call a product. The product is the answer to a multiplication problem, okay? So once you multiplied, now we're gonna go ahead and acknowledge that the decimals are there, okay? So on step 2, we're gonna count how many decimal place values we have in each factor, okay? And that's gonna tell us how many decimal place values we have in our product. So we're just gonna move the decimal that many places, okay? So however many decimal places you have in your 2 factors combined is how many you're gonna have in your final product, okay? So step 2, let's write it out. We are going to count the number of decimal place values in both factors, okay? Then move that amount in our product, okay? And like I said, if you need to, pause it so you can write it, and then press play, and we'll keep on continuing, okay? That way you go on your pace, all right? So the next part after, hopefully by now you've kind of seen, you know, my what do you call my procedure. You kind of see how my flow is. I give you the steps, I explain the steps a little in detail, and then I jump right into examples so you can see how these steps actually work. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do a couple of examples together to see how you get it. Okay, so here are our examples, and we'll do a few of them. Okay, example number 1, let's take 2 and 325 thousandths times 4 and 8/10. 2 and 325 thousandths times 4 and 8/10. Okay. First thing we're going to do, first number goes on top. So I'm going to rewrite the problem here because I like to work vertically and not horizontally. Okay, with multiplication especially. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite my problem. 2 and 325 thousandths times 4 and 8/10. Now notice when I wrote the problem, I do not have to line up my decimals, okay? If you line up your decimals and add zeros, give everybody a buddy, then you're gonna give yourself a lot more work, okay? And when you do a lot more work, especially multiplication, you're gonna set yourself up to possible mistakes later on, okay? So you do not have to line up the decimals here. You just go ahead and flush everything to the right, okay? Because remember, we're multiplying these as if the decimals aren't even there. Okay, so I want you to imagine you're really multiplying 2,325 times 48. That's the first step in doing this, okay? So again, do not line up your decimals. Skip that step, okay? You're going to go ahead, and if you do that, give yourself a lot more work, okay? We want to do the least amount of work possible here, okay? So, like I said, we're going to pretend I'm doing 2,325 times 48. Here's where your multiplication facts come into play, okay? So it's good to drill. So let's go ahead and do 8 times 5 is 40. Carry the 4. 8 times 2, 16. Add the 4, that's 20. Carry the 2. 8 times 3 is 24 plus 2, 26. Carry the 2. 8 times 2 is 16 plus 2, 18. Okay? And again, if you see me, everything is nice and neat and pretty. I don't have all my numbers scrunched up together, okay? So now the 8 is done. So I'm going to scratch out those. And now I'm going to go ahead and do the 4. Now, since I'm doing the next number over, the next place value over, we are going to skip that right there. Okay, we're going to skip a spot, okay? So you can leave it blank. You can put an X. I've seen students put a box. I've seen students put a 0 there. It's up to you what you want to do, okay? I'm going to put an X here for now so you can see that I am skipping that spot because I am multiplying by the next number over. My answer is going to be 1 digit over, okay? So now I'm going to do 4 times 5 is 20. 0, carry your 2. 4 times 2 is 8 plus 2. It's 10. Carry the 1. 4 times 3 is 12. Plus 1, 13. And 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9, okay? Now, once you've multiplied both digits in your factor here, you're going to go ahead and add them together, okay? So I'm going to add 0 plus the empty spot is 0. 0 and 0, 0. 6 plus 0, 8 plus 3. Carry your 1, because it's 11. 9 plus 1 is 10, plus 1 is 11. Okay? Now, that was step 1. So we multiplied as if we were multiplying 2,325 times 48. Now you're going to go ahead and count the number of decimal place values in both the factors. And that's going to tell us how much to move in our product, okay? So let's take the first factor here. Here's my decimal. Anything to the right, those are my decimal place values, okay? So I have 1, 2, 3. So I have 3 places on my first factor. Let's go with the second factor. Here's my decimal. I have 1 place, okay? So first factor, I have 3 decimal places. Second factor, I have 1 decimal place, which means when I add them up together, I need to make sure that I move my decimal 4 places. Okay, that means I'm going to have 4 digits after the decimal. Okay, so starting from the back, we're going to move 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's what your decimal goes. Now to double check, I'm going to cover up the numbers before the decimal, and I should have 4 digits after this decimal. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do I have 4? We're good to go. Okay, that's how you can double check. Now, let's simplify our answer. Okay, because right now my answer is reading 11 and 1,610 thousandths. Okay. Do I need the extra zeros at the end of my answer? No. Okay, this answer is perfectly fine, but if you want to simplify it down, it's just going to be 11 and 16 hundredths. Okay, that is a simplified version because those zeros are not needed. Remember, they add nothing to the end over here. Okay, coming back to you, are we good? Okay, let's go ahead and do another example here. Let us take 5 and 27 hundredths and multiply that times 68. Okay, first things first, let's go ahead and rewrite this, okay, vertically. So 5, I always just put the number with the most digits on top. 5 and 27 hundredths times 68. And you remember, you do not have to line up your decimals, just flush everything to the right. I don't know why I put the X away. Okay, you can put it wherever you want. Okay, aesthetically, I like it over there. It just looks nicer. Now, step 1 again says we are going to multiply as if they were whole numbers. Okay, so let's pretend we're multiplying the factor 527 times 68. Okay, so multiplication, here we go. 8 times 7 is what? Do you remember this one? It should be 56, right? Okay, 8 times 2 is 16, plus 5, 21. 8 times 5 is 40, plus 2, 42. Okay, you remember what to do next? You have to move 1 over, okay? So I like to get these out of the way so I don't make a mistake again. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and skip that spot right there. Okay, skip that spot. And we're gonna do 6 times 7 is 42. 6 times 2 is 12 plus 4, 16. Carry your 1. 6 times 5, 30 plus 1. And add them together. Okay, and I see there's an empty spot above the 3. If you want to add the 0 up there to give them a buddy, you can go ahead and do that. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and add our answers together. So 6 plus that nothing is really just 6. 1 plus 2 is 3. 2 plus 6, 8. 4 plus 1, and 0 plus 3. Okay, so right now I have an answer of 35,836. Are we done? We haven't done step 2. Step 2 says let's go ahead and count the decimal place values in each factor. Okay, so in this factor, here's my decimal. I have 1, 2. I have 2 places. Okay, 68. Do you see a decimal? Are there any decimal place values? There are not any, and that is perfectly fine. We have 0 places. Okay, now you add those 2 places together. So I have 2 there, 0 there. That means in my final answer, I need to make sure that my answer, my product, has 2 decimal place values. Okay, so starting from the back, we're going to go 1, 2. That's where your decimal goes. Let's check our work. I'm going to cover up the whole number. That's the numbers to the left of the decimal, before the decimal. And it says I should have 2 places after it. There's my 3, there's 1, there's my 6, there's 2. So I have 2. So we did it, we moved it correctly. Okay. I'm going to rewrite it just so it looks pretty. The actual answer here, 358 and 36 hundredths. Okay, just like that. All right. So since I didn't have any extra zeros at the end, I don't have to take anything off. It stays exactly the way we had written it before. And just box in your answer. Okay. Again, if you have questions or you need to pause the video, go ahead and do that. But you can always email me any questions you have or get onto Google Meets, and I'll be there during my office hours. Okay. Last one. Let's take 1,125, multiply that times 8 and 5/10. Okay. First thing we're going to do, write our numbers vertically. So 1,125 times 8 and 5/10. Okay. Didn't line anything up. I just flushed everything to the left because we're pretending that they are whole numbers. Okay. So we're multiplying 1,125 times 85. All right. Next step. Let's multiply. 5 times 5 is 25. Good. 5 times 2, 10. Plus 2, 12. Good. 5 times 1 is 5 plus 1 is 6. And 5 times 1 is 5. Okay. What do? Move 1 over. Okay. Every time you go to a different value, you move 1 over. If I had another number here, I would move 2 places over. If I go to the third number, I would move 3 places over. And the pattern continues on. Okay. So the 8s. 8 times 5, 40. 8 times 2, 16 plus 4, 20. 8 times 1 is 8 plus 2, 10. And 8 times 1 is 8 plus 1 is 9. And we're going to go ahead and add these together. Let's see, 5 plus 0 is 5, 2 plus 0 is 2, 6 plus 0, 5 plus 0, and 9 plus 0 is 9. So as of multiplication right now, we should just have 95,625, but we haven't done step 2 yet. Step 2 says now you have to count the decimal place values in each factor and move that same amount into your product, okay? So let's look at the first factor, 1,125. Do you see any decimal place values there? Good, because I don't either. So that means we have 0 places, 0 place values, okay? Look at the second factor, 8 and 5/10. Do you see a decimal place value? Good, okay. How many digits do we have after this decimal? We have that 1 only, okay? So 1 place. So if you add this and this, we should, in our product, we should move 1 place. We should have 1 decimal place value after the decimal point. Okay, so starting from the back, you're just going to go 1. That's where my decimal should go. Let's check to make sure we only have 1 decimal value. Let's cover up all the digits before the decimal. I only have 1 digit after the decimal, and it says you should only have 1, so we got the answer correct. Okay, so the final answer is 9,562 and 5/10. Box it in. Okay. Feel confident? Feel good? All right. Let's go ahead and try it out now. Okay. Remember to pause the video just like normal. Okay. And then we'll come back. All right. There's your try it outs. Go ahead and pause the video so you can write them down and work it out. Okay. All right. Let's see how you did. Okay. You should have, let's see, 4 and 8/10. I'm going to rewrite them. 4 and 8/10 times 3/10. Okay. Let's see. 3 times 8, you should have got 24. 3 times 4 is 12 plus 2, 14. Now let's see if you move that decimal correctly, okay? This had 1 place value. You don't have to write this if you already know how to do it, okay? So I'm just putting that there so you can see it. This one has 1 place, which means I need to move a total of 2 places. So from the back, you should have gone 1, 2, okay? And your answer is 1 and 44 hundredths, okay? 1 and 44 hundredths. So check and see in that one, see how you did. Okay, let's look over the next one. 1 and 39 hundredths times 2 and 5 tenths. Okay, let's check our multiplication. 5 times 9 is 45. 5 times 3 is 15. Plus 4 is 19. And 5 times 1 is 5 plus 1 is 6. Okay. Different color to make it look pretty. All right, skip that spot. Okay, remember to skip that spot. And let's keep on going. 2 times 9 is 18. 2 times 3 is 6 plus 1, 7. 2 times 1 is 2. Now let's go ahead and add them together. We get 5. 9 plus 8 is 17. Carry your 1. 7 plus 7 is 14. Carry your 1. 2 plus really 0 plus 1 is 3. Okay? Now talk about the place. This one had 2 places. This one had 1 place, which means you should have moved in your product 3 places. So from the back, 1, 2, 3. You should have got 3 and 475 thousandths. Okay? Good. Last one. Let's see how you did on this one. Okay? We have 6 and 2 tenths times 38 hundredths. Okay? Let's go ahead and multiply. 8 times 2 is 16. Carry your 1. 8 times 6 is 48 plus 1 is 49. Okay? Here's that one. Here's my color. Skip that spot. And now 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 6 is 18. And right there. Okay? And I'm going to add, I think I went, that's this far. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and put my answer as best I can here. So that's a 6. 9 and 6 is 15, carry 1. 8 plus 1 is 9. 9 plus 4 is 13. 1 plus 1 is 2. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite it. The answer so far I have is 2,356. Okay, let's check our place values here. I have 1 place value here, and I have 1, 2 place values there. So 2 plus 1 means I need to move 3 places. From the back, you should have gone 1, 2, 3. So 2 and 356 thousandths. Put in your answer. Okay? Check yours. If you made a mistake, let's kind of see where you went wrong. All right? Maybe it was multiplication. Maybe it was the decimal point. Okay? Go ahead and make sure you copied your notes. If you didn't, just rewind the video and, see what you missed. And then go ahead and get into your assignment and complete your assignment. Okay, guys? All right. Y'all have a great and excellent day. And I will see y'all tomorrow. Bye.